Fire. Prison. Two things that really aren't supposed to go together at all. In fact, fire is something they definitely do not want you having while in prison for any number of reasons. I mean, I guess we could always burn the prison down, but fire is a big deal to a lot of prisoners for a number of different reasons. Whether it's to have the ability to smoke, you're not doing any smoking without fire, or whether it's for tattooing. Fire is a huge part of tattooing, for making needles, for making ink, for trying to be able to sterilize your equipment. Fire plays a huge role behind the fences inside of prison. And the fact of the matter is you're not getting one of these while you're locked up. Because of that, prisoners have to become sort of like penitentiary geniuses and figure out a way to create fire without one of these. Sort of like taking it back to the caveman days, rubbing two sticks together in an effort to try to make a flame. Being in prison is sort of like that. And in this video, I'm going to show you a few different ways that you can make fire in prison. All of the things needed to make fire in prison and the things that I will show in this video are things that prisoners are able to buy while in prison. It may seem crazy, but it's true. Prisoners can actually buy these things from commissary and use these items to create fire. With all of that being said, let's go ahead and make some prison fire. In this first example of how to make fire in prison or how to make a prison lighter, you only need two things: batteries and a razor. Surprisingly enough, they sell these in prison. Razor blades, easily taken apart, easily fashioned into weapons that can do a lot of damage. But we're not going to focus on the weapons aspect of this right now. We're going to focus on the fire aspect. 2 AA batteries. They sell batteries in prison for all sorts of different reasons, whether it's for your Walkman or CD player or any other sort of electronic device that obviously takes batteries. So these are really easy to come by. And they also sell these. They sell razor blades on commissary, obviously intended to shave with. But we're not doing any shaving in this video. We're going to bust this thing apart, and I'm going to show you how with these and with these, you can make some good old fire, prison fire. So the first thing we need to do is we need to pop this razor. And that simply means taking the guard off and busting this thing open. And the way that we do this is really simple. All we need to do is apply pressure to one side of this razor blade, push down, and you're going to watch just how easy this razor blade comes apart. Again, we've got the razor blade positioned right here, and we're just going to push down, just like that. And that has opened up our razor blade. Next, we need to take this thing apart, and we got to be careful because these razors will cut the shit out of you. So we're just going to take one side of this very carefully and pop that off just like that. Once we've separated the razor, we're going to take the piece of metal that separates the two razors. We're going to put that off to the side. And we're also going to take one razor blade. And what we're going to do with this razor blade is we're going to break this in half. And the way that we do that is simply by bending the blade one way, bending the blade back the other way. You have to be very careful when doing this because this blade, again, it will cut you. But we're just trying to break this blade apart just like that. So now we have two pieces of the razor blade. We don't need this anymore. So with our 2 batteries, and by the way, this only works if these batteries are brand new. They have to be brand new because if these are dead batteries, it's not going to work. We've got our piece of metal that separates the 2 razor blades, and we've got our 2 pieces of razor blade right there. Now also, a little footnote to this. This is only going to produce what is equivalent to like the lighter in your car. So this method is really only good for lighting cigarettes or whatever it is that you're trying to smoke in prison. And guys use this method all the time because they smoke all the time while in prison. But the next method I show you is definitely going to make some real fire. But with this method, this is how it works. You take your 2 batteries, you flip one upside down, we take the piece of metal that separated the 2 razor blades, we're going to fashion that on the bottom, holding it just like so. And then we're going to take our razor blade real carefully, put that underneath one finger like so. Can you see that? So it's just looking like that. Grab our other battery, upside down. One's right side up, one's upside down. Connect the bottoms, and then yeah, it's hot, but it works. Now real quick, I do want to show you this as well. Obviously you just saw me burn myself. That was for real. It didn't hurt too bad, but you can really burn yourself doing this. So what guys will do is they will make a device that looks like this. This is a real prison lighter. And basically it's just been taped together, showing you exactly the way that we did it before. But that there is how you're gonna light your cigarettes or whatever else it is that you're smoking while incarcerated. But this is method number one. Again, it's not fire so much, it's just a red hot section that will light cigarettes and things like that. Now I'm sure you can use this to create actual fire, maybe blowing the Kindle in your hand like some Man vs. Wild type stuff. But again, mostly this method is just for cigarettes. So we don't need that anymore. It's time now to create some real fire. This is a method that I have used personally myself many, many times. And I cannot emphasize to you enough that this method it's kind of dangerous, but it's kind of awesome at the same time. I tattooed throughout most of the time that I was incarcerated. I served 7 years in prison for nonviolent drug offenses. And this was a method when it came to making needles for tattoo guns, when it came to making ink to do tattoos with, when it came to trying to sterilize in whatever prison way possible you can sterilize stuff. Fire is a huge factor in all of those things. So having the ability to create actual fire was imperative. This method does not involve batteries at all, but it does involve some sort of electricity, a power supply. In fact, it involves one of these. This is a surge protector, and in prison, you can buy one of these damn things. They sell these because prisoners have electronics. They have TVs. They have things that need to be plugged in. CD player adapters, tattoo machines, whatever. They sell these things on commissary. You can buy one of these, and this is the number one thing that you need when it comes to creating fire in prison. And there's a few other things that you'll need along with that surge protector. Pencils. The way that we're going to use the pencils and the surge protector to make fire is as follows. First, we have our pencil. We need to split our pencil apart and remove what's inside of it, graphite. And I don't know any other way to do this except to chew this pencil apart. Tastes like a pencil. Once we've popped our pencil, we're going to begin to separate it. And once we've separated it, we're going to remove in the biggest pieces possible this graphite that is inside of the pencil. Graphite pencil. After removing the chunks of graphite from the pencil, we're going to take 2 pieces of graphite and we are going to stick them inside of the plugs of this surge protector. Now again, do not try this at home. I cannot tell you enough how many times I have electrocuted myself doing. I'm kidding, it wasn't even plugged in, but it's sort of like that when that happens. I would take the graphite, I would stick it inside of the surge protector, boom, boom, just like so. This thing would be unplugged, okay? You don't want this thing plugged in when you do this. And then I'd put that off to the side for a minute, because the next thing I need to do is I need to take one more piece of graphite, a longer piece. And I'm gonna take 2 little sheets of toilet tissue. This may be the hardest thing in prison for you to come by, toilet paper. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna loosely roll it up, just like so. I don't want it to be tight, so I've rolled this up and it's just like a little wick. Next, I'm gonna take this piece of graphite and I'm gonna stick it right there. I'm gonna stick it right there in the middle. I'm gonna twist that end just a little bit, just to hold on to that. And then I'm gonna get my fingers as far away from that as I possibly can. So now what I've made is something that looks like this. Now before I show you this, I wanna let you know this is what is referred to in prison as popping a socket. And you're about to see why. And that there is how you make fire. Popping a socket using graphite. That's how you make fire in prison. 2 different ways right there. One using batteries, one using electricity that could shock the hell out of you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment. Let me know exactly what you think about it. And as always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted and make the most of every day. Peace! Let's give a few shout outs here, starting with Instagram. I left a question on a picture that I posted on Instagram, and if you got that answer right, there's a potential I could shout you out. Let's shout out Zach19, he got the answer right, it was a spoon. Broken Wings 13, Nate Bennett, Tally Jimmy, Caden, and one more, Zach Wright. Thanks to you guys for getting it right and everybody else for commenting on that picture. From Twitter, let's shout out Mace, Pedro, and C Plays Games. Give all of you guys a follow as well. Thanks for the support on Twitter. And for my last video, let's go through the comments on this. Let's shout out Ganja Mama. Thanks for the support. Astro Chimp says I need to play The Escapist. I've got The Escapist now. I'll be playing it. Victor Trout, Kevin Eaton, and 2 more. Who we got? D McCoy and Reds Play. Special shout out to all of you and everyone else who likes, loves, comments, and shares. APS. Hey, that's it. Until next time, peace.